Live, everybody, day three of 5, live. The Cliff Yates Show, you're in the right place, and we made 3 days in a row. We are habituating the morning habit and basing this series of podcasts on the book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, who also authored The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And he's got another book that I have on audiobook called Everyday Hero, and I listen to that when I go to sleep at night on numerous occasions when I'm in the mood for it. But it is a great book, and it's a fictional title, as I've talked about in the other podcast, day 1 and day 2. It's a fictional story to express these universal principles and values that high-achieving people have put into practice. And it's frequently quoted, or there's actually groups on X and different social platforms called, appropriately enough, the 5 a.m. Club. So this is day 3. Day 1 was scheduled it, and the results were great. All 3 days, Alba and I have been both getting up at 5 a.m., and she immediately gets to her quiet place and in the Word, in the Bible. And we have found that we have gotten quite a bit done, and not in a hurried pace, as I talked about yesterday, to start with the luxury of a quiet morning, unhurried, unrushed. It sets the tone for the day. And yesterday we found ourselves, wow, we've got quite a bit done today. And did we miss lunch? Oh no, it's only 11:30. And so you find you have so many more hours in the day. I found a little bit of afternoon fatigue. Yesterday I took a half-hour nap, which really invigorated me back to take on the day, or just, take from the day and enjoy it. So we're going to look at a couple more excerpts from the book today and discuss them and put them into practice like we've done on the first 2 days. And yesterday, well, we decided after day 2, on day 2, we had gone to bed real early, like 9:15, and then we actually found ourselves up at 3:45, not needing that much sleep. We're talking 6-7 hours, and we are ready to get up. But we're a little bit older, at least I am, 67 years of age, 67 young. Robin Sharma, the 5 a.m. Club. So last night we went to bed around 10:30. So that seems to be almost a sweet spot. I think maybe 10 o'clock would be a sweet spot to be getting up at 5. Well, to do this broadcast, I get up at 4:20. So to get up at 5, 10:30 I think would be a sweet spot if I got up at 5. But I've been getting up at 4:15, 4:20 to prepare to be with you exactly at 5 a.m. A lot goes into a live broadcast and getting prepared, and I got a couple of slides that I'm going to be talking through, and so we can implement more of the 5 a.m. Club. And so last night I was preparing, working from the book. This is about my 3rd or 4th read of this book, and okay, and as I set up before, this is the fictional tale takes place. It starts off at a seminar. We got an artist and an entrepreneur, and they're at this really motivational, business motivation seminar, and they meet up with this haggard, disheveledly dressed, what they think is basically a homeless person. And during the break, they talk about what the host of the seminar has presented or talked about and taught during that session, who they call the spellbinder. And this homeless person turns out to be a billionaire who befriends the artist and the entrepreneur, and he flies them to his private island, and they fly to different places, and he teaches them this process of the 5 a.m. Club and how it can elevate their life. And this right here is one of the interchanges between the artist, I believe, and Mr. Riley is the billionaire. And so they had been talking, and the artist says, well, enjoy every sandwich. And Mr. Riley said, that's very wise insight. And the artist said, "It's not mine. They are the words of songwriter Warren Zevon. He spoke them after he discovered he was terminally ill. Be grateful for every moment. Don't be timid when it comes to your ambitions. Stop wasting time on insanely trivial things and make it a priority to reclaim the creativity, fire, and potential that is dormant within you. It's so important to do so." Why do you think Plato encouraged us to know thyself? He understood intimately that we have the vast reservoirs of ability that absolutely must be accessed and then applied in order for us to lead energetic, joyful, peaceful, and meaningful lives. To neglect this hidden force inside of us is to create a breeding ground for the pain of potential unused, the frustration of fearlessness unembraced, and the lethargy of mastery unexplored. We all have that within us. Just like when I was a very young man, I had it on my heart that there was a God, even though people around me were telling me, as they were atheists, well, there's no God. Look at, if these terrible things are happening, how can there be a God? And I knew, even though I hadn't been exposed to the knowledge of the Bible and Jesus Christ, I knew that there was a God. And later I find that it's been implanted on all our hearts that we know there's a God. And so we have this power within us. Unleash the Power Within is a book by Tony Robbins, and he always talked about that power we have within it. All we need to do is claim it, put it into action, be constantly learn these values that we find in a book like this, The 5 a.m. Club. Very important if we want to realize our dreams and be fulfilled in our life. It's just not about getting things. It's about what we become. As you already know, the book goes on, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size, let me start that again. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog in sight, declared the billionaire as he rubbed his chiseled abdominals absent-mindedly and put on a new pair of sunglasses, the kind you'd see on a surfer in Southern California. I need a little coffee this 5 a.m. morning. The Spellbinder taught me early on that by joining the 5 a.m. club, I'd have a gorgeous window of opportunity every morning to cultivate my highest assets. Take some time for myself and do the preparation needed for me to make each day a tiny gem. He helped me understand that successful people use their mornings well, and that by rising before daybreak, I'd win a primary victory that would set me up for a triumphant day. The quietude of the morning. It is something that my wife and I use to get alone with God and have a conversation with God. And we pray. And what is prayer but just a conversation with God? And when you capture and take captive these morning hours of quietude, you don't have the outside distraction. You don't have that cyber bombardment of what we get from the world through our little cell phone device or our computer. We have the quietude that's been created by God in the morning for us to be alone, have a conversation with God, and be prepared to access the wonderful, unlimited force within us. And so we're doing it. Day 3. We are habituating this habit of the 5 a.m. club. I was reading another book yesterday called Atomic Habits. Forgot the name of the author, but it's a great book, Atomic Habits. You know, and people will discuss well, you need to do this for 21 days because to really cement a habit and make it a habit, you have to do this for 21 days in a row. Or you have to do this for 10 days in a row. There's really no magic number, but it's just we have to frequently do this over and over, whatever we're trying to habituate. And it creates a neural pathway in our brain so that it becomes a pathway through our mind that that's what we are going to do on a regular basis. And habituating this 5 a.m. club, I think, is a hidden secret of mastering not only your life, but by mastering your morning, as the title of the book says, you elevate your life. Let's go on to this is another quote in the book. Dedication and discipline beats brilliance and giftedness every day of the week. That's true. Dedication and discipline it beats talent and it beats giftedness every day of the week. You know, there are a lot of people out there, they have the talent to do many things. Pick any creative artistry, realm, acting, comedy, writing. There are geniuses out there with those talents, those gifted talents, and they don't apply them. And people of less talent, less giftedness become masters because they have dedication and discipline. It beats talent every single time. Each time you resist a temptation and pursue an optimization, you invigorate your heroism. Every instant you do that which you know to be right over the thing that you feel would be easy, you facilitate your entry into the Hall of Fame of epic achievers. And we, on my channel, we are a group of high achievers dedicated to making progress towards a worthy goal. Okay, we had entrepreneur and the artist. So the artist went on talking. Anyway, I understand what you're teaching us on this point about capitalization and the self-fulfilling prophecy. No one will believe in our ability to do great things until we first believe in our greatness and then put in the sincere and rigorous effort to realize it. You know what Pablo Picasso once said? "Tell us, please," implored the entrepreneur, her stance showing that she was very open in this instant. Picasso announced, "My mother said to me, if you are a soldier, you will become a general. If you are a monk, you will become the Pope. Instead, I was a painter and became Picasso." There's a lot of great stories in this book. And you can get this book on Amazon. Get it through me. I have an affiliate link, so I get a little bit of credit. No extra cost to you. It's in the description of the YouTube channel. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment, and share it with somebody you think might need to hear this message or any in the series that we're doing this week, the 5 a.m. Club. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, hey, follow, leave a comment, rate the show, come back again for some more knowledge feeding. And because I'll tell you, one of the greatest thrills that I have every single day is if I can have a positive impact on some other person. The solution is exactly what I'm suggesting. Work on one high-value activity at a time instead of relentlessly multitasking. And do so in a quiet environment. And that's what we create every morning in the 5 a.m. Club. We have the quietude of our alone space without the outside world distracting us from our dominating thoughts. Albert Einstein made the point exquisitely when he wrote, "Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master." For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. This really is one of the most closely guarded secrets of the virtuosos and history makers. They don't diffuse their cognitive bandwidth. They don't dilute their creative gifts, chasing every shiny diversion and every attractive opportunity that comes their way. No, instead, they exercise the fierce discipline required to do only a few things, but at an absolutely world-class level. It's like I said before, the great ones understand that it's far smarter to create one piece of art, a genuine masterpiece that endures for generations, rather than thousands of projects that express no genius. And please also remember the hours that the 95% waste the top 5% treasure. 5 a.m. is the time of least distraction, highest human glory, and greatest peace. So leverage the victory hour well. You'll make quantum leaps in your productivity as well as in your personal mastery. That's something that I suffer from, self-inflicted, diffusing my inner power by trying to master too many things, trying to create too many pieces of artwork instead of focusing on one piece at a time, putting all my heart and soul into one thing, mastering it. If we were aiming at too many targets, we hit none of them. So this is a lesson that I need to take to heart today, for sure. All right, we're going to do one more slide today. One more excerpt from the book. And I like this one to end on. Training the best parts of you was the straightforward reply. Remember the Spartan warrior credo that the spellbinder shared at the seminar. Sweat more in practice, bleed less in war. I talked about that in my law enforcement career. My buddies and I would frequently talk about, and it was something we learned in the academy. One of the instructors had put out there, the more you train in the gym, the more you sweat in training, the less you're going to bleed on the streets. And that's a good thing to have in your mind. Somebody else is training. A criminal is training not to go back to prison. He is training to take your gun, to take your life. Who is going to counteract that without doing the training themselves? And now you and me, as a lot of us, civilians, we're not police officers anymore. Or maybe we are, maybe you are, but we should remember the more we train, the better we're going to be in real life. Sweat more in practice, bleed less in war. Well, the quality of your morning practice determines the caliber of your daily performance. Battles are won in the early light of intense training when no one's watching. Victories occur before warriors walk onto the field. The victories occur long before the warrior walks on the field. It's in the training. It's in the preparation. It's when nobody's looking. Nobody else is around. When we drag ourselves to the gym when we really don't want to go. When we put the work in, nobody's watching. When we're on the tennis court with hitting thousands and thousands of serves, and then we get to the tournament, we've prepared to win long before we arrived. And that's a principle we can apply in all aspects of our life. Everything affects everything else. As you master one part of your life, it's going to have a positive effect on the rest of your life. So true that battles are won in the early light of intense training, when no one's watching. Self-motivation, that's what we need. No one's coming. No one's showing up. We can't wait for somebody to come along to fire us up. We need to be fired up. Victories occur before warriors walk onto the field. Triumph belongs to the one who prepares the most. It's obvious that if you want to be the best in the world at business or art or chess or as a designer or as a mechanic or as a manager, a plumber, a writer, you need to put in enormous amounts of practice time to advance your expertise. Specifically, a performer must invest at least 2 hours and 44 minutes of daily improvement on their chosen skill for 10 years. Wow! As preeminent psychologist Anders Ericsson of Florida State University has taught us through his groundbreaking research. Oh, I'm going to look up that research. 2 hours and 44 minutes of daily improvement. See, I never even picked up on that in the previous readings. 2 hours and 44 minutes a day for 10 years. So, wow. That is interesting. Groundbreaking research. I'm going to check that out. All right, everybody. Now we've done day 3 of 5 a.m. from the book, The 5 a.m. Club, we're working from as a foundation, a framework. And so I'm going to take this moment as an attitude of gratitude to you. Thanks for checking in, watching, and or listening. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Why? It helps grow the channel. When the computer realizes the algorithm, as they call it, that people are interacting with the show by either liking, leaving a comment, or subscribing, the computer says, oh, this must have some valuable content that somebody else might need, want, or enjoy. So they show it to more people who are interested in these kinds of things. Get the book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. It's well worth it. There's a link in the description of my YouTube channel, and I'll put the link in the show notes of the podcast platforms. And you are going to master your morning so you can elevate your life. I'll see you in the next episode. It's going to be day 4, The 5 a.m. Club. Take on the day. You know I love you.